demonstrations.
Local residents of Gunung Sigi village in Cilegon, Banten were reportedly suffering from headaches and vomiting due to suspected gas poisoning. This was caused by a combustion equipment failure from PT Chandra Asri factory.
Kan itu ya, sesek, mata perih, terus nyengat itu, yang nggak tahannya itu, baunya itu. Efeknya takutnya ke depannya efeknya itu ya. Sekarang ya orang tua mah masih kuat ya. Tapi kan ini saya mikirin anak-anaknya ini. Ke depannya ini gimana gitu.
A local health center in the village, which was flooded with poison locals, were forced to transfer some patients to Ciwandan Community Health Center due to limited medical supplies.
Pasien kita yang dirujuk dengan keluhan pusing, mual, muntah, ditambah lagi ada peningkatan tekanan darah dan keluhan sesak, kita bawa ke puskesmas. Tujuan itu untuk penanganan lebih lanjut karena fasilitas kesehatan fasilitas kita di sini itu kan tidak memadai ya, makanya kita rujuk ke puskesmas.
Following the incident, Cilegon Mayor and Cilegon Military District Commander inspected the factory.
Kami tadi meminta kepada PT Chandra Asri untuk stop terlebih dahulu, ya. Kemudian diambil sampling agar bisa segera oleh Kabid LH dicek ke laboratorium. Apakah ini membahayakan atau tidak untuk masyarakat Kota Cilegon. Nah, dan kami minta juga agar segera Chandra Asri mengunjungi warga. Itu yang paling terpenting.
PT Chandra Asri admitted this incident occurred for the first time and claimed that they're unprepared with the environmental pollution that affected the village.
Kita komitmen bagi mereka yang berdampak kita akan tangani karena memang ini kejadian baru satu kali dan kita juga sifatnya tiba-tiba, jadi kita juga istilahnya belum siap juga, tapi kita berusaha, kita juga akan kita tangani secepat mungkin.
The machine failure also caused air pollution within a 15-kilometer radius in Ciwandan, Citangkil, Purwakarta, Grogol, and Pulau Merak district, as well as Bojonegara and Serang Regency. According to a Chandra Asri official, the incident was caused by severe weather and they will take responsibility to the affected locals. See Today contributor reporting from Banten.
To another incident, a wall segment at a Pertamina gas station in Tebet, South Jakarta crumbled on Sunday afternoon. It hit a family at a nearby shop, killing 3 people.
A wall segment at Pertamina gas station on Jalan Supomo in Tebet, South Jakarta crumbled and struck a nearby shop on Sunday afternoon. Unfortunately, an entire family was inside the shop at the time. The incident claimed 3 lives, whose bodies were recovered by the South Jakarta Fire Department. According to the eyewitnesses, the wall crumbled when a family of 6 was sitting at the shop, which was located right behind the gas station. The 10-centimeter thick wall suddenly gave away and struck the family. Some believe that the wall segment has suffered prolonged damage, but did not receive much needed repairs, leading to its collapse.
Kronologis awalnya tembok depan yang udah patahan sampai bawah ya. Mungkin pecah di depan nyambung ke belakang. Di sini ada orang tua 2, anak 1, sama cucu 3. Cucu 3 selamat.
Pak itu dagang, memang lagi nongkrong, lagi duduk atau bagaimana Pak?
Dagang sih. Cuman hari ini untungnya nggak buka. Karena
posisi duduk ini lagi duduk aja bagaimana Pak?
Lagi duduk.
Berarti korban warga mana Pak?
Warga sini.
The 3 who survived the incident were immediately brought to the Tibet Hospital in South Jakarta, while the 3 deceased were brought to the Cipto Mangunkusumo Hospital in Central Jakarta for autopsy. Pertamina regretted the incident and conveyed their sympathies for victims and their relatives. CTD contributor reporting from Jakarta.
Got more updates out of Indonesia as Mount Merapi at the border of Yogyakarta and Central Java erupted and spewed volcanic ash at approximately 1:55 p.m. local time on Sunday, which covered Boyolali.
In regards to this, residents around Mount Merapi conducted daily chores normally.
This is an amateur video which shows the moments when volcanic ash from Mount Merapi covered Boyolali in central Java on Sunday. Volcanic ash covered a number of areas across Boyolali, including Cepogo, disrupting a local greens market and hampering traffic by reducing visibility.
Ash poured from the sky for around 10 minutes. It was then followed by rain that helped wash some of the ash away. According to the data from the Geological Disaster Research and Technology Development, or BPPTKG office, the mountain spewed volcanic ash, which traveled 2,000 meters southwest despite the wind blowing east.
Volcanic ash also covered crops while authorities maintain the mountain's alert status at level 3.
Tiba-tiba itu langsung ada abu yang banyak sekali turun di sini. Ya sekitar 10 menitan, habis itu hujan. Di sini masyarakat sudah terbiasa dengan erupsi Merapi, jadi masyarakat di sini tenang. Ya mobil-mobil itu tertutup abu, kacanya tidak kelihatan.
And our next update is right here from the current capital city for the future capital city. The Nusantara Capital City Authority, or IKN, held a fun activity as a part of the pre-event of Nusantara Fair 2024 at the Hotel Indonesia Roundabout in Jakarta on Sunday morning.
The related officials organized Nusantara flash mob to draw attention of the people who were exercising in the area.
The Nusantara Flash Mob, performed by GG Art Dance Club, told a story about the recent development at the new Nusantara Capital City in North Penajam Pasir Regency in East Kalimantan.
This fun activity was considered suitable to attract young generation as they will play a significant role in shaping the future of the new capital city of Indonesia.
Progres pembangunan dari kota Nusantara yang selama ini sudah dilakukan. Untuk menginformasikan kegiatan tersebut, teman-teman berinisiatif untuk mempublikasikannya, salah satunya melalui Nusantara Flash Mob yang dilakukan hari ini di Car Free Day di sekitar Bundaran HI untuk lebih bisa mensosialisasikan apa kegiatan yang akan kita lakukan. Karena nantinya mereka lah yang akan mengisi dan membangun lebih lanjut dari Nusantara sehingga mencapai tujuan kita di 2045 saat Indonesia Emas 100 tahun Indonesia Merdeka.
All right, perfect for entertaining you during Car Free Day, right?
That's right.
Anyway, we're going to take our first short break of the program. We have more news out of Indonesia when we return here on the C Morning Show. Stay with us.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking that to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play
di Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. You can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people. Welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone. Here in this segment, we're going to have a look at the latest updates regarding the upcoming Indonesian general elections on Indonesia Votes 2024. The Indonesian presidential and vice presidential candidates shared their thoughts after the fourth debate that took place at the Jakarta Convention Center in Senayan on Sunday night.
The second vice presidential candidates debate involved discussion regarding sustainable development, the environment, food, agrarian affairs, natural resources, energy, as well as indigenous people and villages.
Before we take a look at some of the highlights from last night's event, let's hear what the candidates had to say after the debate.
Vice presidential candidate number 1, Muhaimin Iskandar, expressed his relief after the second vice presidential candidate debate on Sunday night. Speaking to the press at the Jakarta Convention Center in Senayan, VP candidate Muhaimin hoped that the debate will be a strength for the nation. Meanwhile, his running mate, presidential candidate Anies Baswedan, praised Muhaimin's performance.
Semoga debat ini terjaga menjadi kekuatan untuk menyangga wibawa dari gagasan pikiran dan cita-cita kita semua.
3 kata atas apa yang dikerjakan Gus Muhaimin malam ini. 1 bangga, 2 bangga, 3 bangga.
Meanwhile, Vice Presidential candidate number 2, Gibran Rakabuming Raka, expressed his gratitude for the opportunity to debate with the other candidates. He received a praise from his running mate, presidential candidate Prabowo Subianto, who condemned his Gibran's understanding of the debate's topic.
Terima kasih sekali malam ini berkesempatan untuk bertukar pikiran dengan Prof. Mahfud dan juga Gus Muhaimin. Ya, semoga debat malam ini memberikan gambaran ya tentang kemana nanti arah bangsa ini akan melangkah.
Tadi saya sangat bangga lagi, ternyata Mas Gibran kembali menunjukkan kapasitas, kemampuan, penguasaan terhadap masalah ekonomi. Jadi ya kami turut bangga.
On the other hand, Vice Presidential candidate number 3, Mahfud MD, felt that he had done his best in the debate. His running mate, presidential candidate Ganjar Pranowo, appreciated his performance, which was dubbed as inspiring.
Tadi rasanya di dalam debat ya biasa-biasa sajalah. Begitu debat itu. Itu penilaian setiap orang berbeda, tapi saya sendiri merasa bahwa saya sudah memberi yang terbaik.
Baguslah, karena untuk pertama kali saya kira Pak Mahfud menginspirasi.
This is the last vice presidential candidate debate of the whole debate series. However, one presidential debate still remains, which will take place on February the 4th. Andira Putri and Andre Saputra, for See Today.
And let's talk about last night's debate where the first sub-theme for the third segment of the fourth presidential and vice presidential candidates debate involved the indigenous people of Indonesia.
It was chosen since Indonesia is home to many indigenous communities who still face discrimination, intimidation, and criminalization. Not just that, they also face stigma and violence as minorities.
And in response to this, presidential candidate number 3 explained that improving agrarian and natural resource policies may improve the current situation. This is because such policies often do not have the consent of the indigenous people, resulting in frequent land confiscation and impoverishing indigenous women.
Saat ini, di tahun 2024 ini, berdasar rekapitulasi yang dibuat oleh Kemenko Polhukam dari 10.000 pengaduan, itu 2.587 adalah kasus tanah adat. Jadi ini memang masalah besar di negeri ini. Apa yang harus kita lakukan? Strateginya adalah penertiban birokrasi pemerintah dan aparat penegak hukum. Karena kalau jawabannya laksanakan aturan itu normatif. Jadi kalau aparat penegak hukum itu hanya orang paling atas yang bisa memerintahkan siapa pimpinan penegak hukum itu.
Meanwhile, vice presidential candidate number 1 stated that the no one has to be left behind policy shall be implemented in the National Development Project.
Memang kuncinya ke depan adalah kita harus perbanyak dialog dengan para tokoh adat, kepala-kepala adat, tokoh masyarakat setempat. Jadi jangan sampai ketika ada pembangunan yang masif ataupun ada PSN, jangan sampai masyarakat adat ini tersingkirkan. Justru harus dirangkul dan diberikan manfaat yang sebesar-besarnya, terutama untuk masyarakat lokal, pengusaha lokal, UMKM lokal, dan termasuk masyarakat adat setempat.
Similar to that, Vice Presidential Candidate number 2 Gibran Raka Buming Raka stated that the involvement of the local indigenous people is integral.
Memang kuncinya ke depan adalah kita harus perbanyak dialog dengan para tokoh adat, kepala-kepala adat, tokoh masyarakat setempat. Jadi jangan sampai ketika ada pembangunan yang masif ataupun ada PSN, jangan sampai masyarakat adat ini tersingkirkan. Justru harus dirangkul dan diberikan manfaat yang sebesar-besarnya, terutama untuk masyarakat lokal, pengusaha lokal, UMKM lokal, dan termasuk masyarakat adat setempat.
Meanwhile, once again, VP candidate number 1 stated that the no one has to be left behind policy should be or shall be implemented in the National Development Project.
Saya tambahkan Pak Mahfud, salah satu upaya kita agar tidak terjadi konflik antara proyek pembangunan nasional, terutama PSN, dengan masyarakat adat, kita harus betul-betul punya prinsip tidak ada satupun yang ditinggalkan dalam mengambil keputusan. Saya kira Pak Mahfud, apa yang saya sampaikan tadi bisa berjalan dengan lancar, problem-problem bisa diatasi dengan baik.
Meanwhile, to emphasize the importance of indigenous involvement, VP candidate Mahfud MD closed off his statement by pointing out a concrete example of discrimination against the native people of Kalimantan.
Ketika saya membatalkan 14 pasal Undang-Undang Wilayah Pesisir, justru karena di situ masyarakat adat tidak pernah dilibatkan. Sehingga mereka coba, sekarang ini masyarakat adat yang ada di hutan-hutan di Kalimantan Timur itu, 20.000 orang tidak bisa memilih karena tidak punya KTP. Kenapa tidak punya KTP? Karena katanya dia menghuni hutan negara. Kalau hutan negara tidak boleh ada penduduk di situ, padahal dia sudah puluhan tahun di situ.
Another topic discussed in the debate is the drawback of building villages in the aim of developing local economy. This is because villages are often underdeveloped due to urbanization.
Vice presidential candidate number 1, Muhaimin Iskandar, said that aside from focusing on national development, he also aims to bolster villages which serve as the foundation of the country.
Furthermore, he promised to increase village funds from 1 billion to 5 billion rupiahs.
Sejak kita mengawali undang-undang pembangunan desa yang diikuti dengan penerapan dana desa yang terus meningkat dari tahun ke tahun, akan terbangun infrastruktur dan transformasi desa dari desa tertinggal menjadi desa maju dan mandiri. Hari ini sudah 13.000 desa yang tertinggal menjadi desa sudah menjadi desa maju, desa mandiri, sekarang tinggal 4.000 saja. Ini bukti bahwa infrastruktur kita berjalan baik, dana desa terlaksana dengan baik, sehingga masyarakat desa semakin kerasan. Nanti ke depan kita akan siapkan lagi, naikkan lagi anggaran 5 miliar per desa. Agar apa? Tidak hanya infrastrukturnya yang baik, tetapi juga ada kehidupan ekonomi yang tumbuh melalui BUMDes, melalui berbagai kegiatan wirausaha yang tumbuh, pertanian, peternakan, ekonomi kreatif tumbuh di desa, sehingga orang tertarik di desa.
Meanwhile, Vice Presidential Candidate number 2 Gibran Rakabuming Raka responded that locals must be involved in development. He added that authorities must foster a sense of belongings among locals to strengthen communities.
Intinya di sini adalah bagaimana kita bisa menumbuhkan rasa sense of belonging dari masyarakat desa. Saya pernah ke Mojokerto, di situ ada desa wisata nomor 1 se-Indonesia. Kemarin dapat penghargaan dari Pak Sandiaga Uno. Intinya adalah ini adalah desa wisata dibangun dengan crowdfunding. Jadi masyarakat desa punya saham di destinasi wisata tadi. Jadi ini salah satu contoh yang baik, cara bagaimana agar masyarakat desa tidak meninggalkan desa.
And from the other side of the debate, Vice Presidential Candidate number 3, Mahfud MD, explained his strategy by highlighting Presidential Candidate Ganjar Pranowo's achievements while he was still the governor of Central Java. He mentioned that all regional governments must focus on building local infrastructures in order to support the economy.
Calon presiden kami, Bapak Ganjar Pranowo, punya catatan menarik tentang apa yang dilakukan untuk mengatasi hal yang tadi ditanyakan. Pertama, ada program 1000 embung, ada program desa mandiri, mandiri energi dan mandiri pangan, kemudian pembangunan irigasi. Lalu di daerah istimewa Yogyakarta ada satu daerah Panggung Harjo namanya, desa Panggung Harjo, itu dikenal sangat maju, koperasinya jalan, irigasinya jalan, UMKM-nya jalan, dikelola oleh desa itu dengan baik.
And to conclude, Vice Presidential Candidate Muhaimin reaffirmed his promise to increase village funds from 1 billion to 5 billion rupiah, as the village fund serves as proof that will propel the local economy.
Desa ini harus terus diberi fasilitas insentif untuk lebih maju. Oleh karena itu, keinginan saya menambah anggaran desa minimal 5 miliar buat desa lebih maju lagi, itu betul-betul keinginan untuk mempercepat pertumbuhan ekonomi dan SDM di tingkat desa. Begitu juga yang disampaikan Pak Mahfud tadi, bahwa kearifan masyarakat desa ini harus terus dijaga.
Some of these sub-themes discussed during the second segment included sustainability and environmental issues.
Low carbon building and development are required to achieve net zero emissions by 2060 through efficient and inclusive use of natural resources.
Vice Presidential Candidate number 2 Gibran Rakabuming Raka received a question regarding his equitable low-carbon development policy.
Agenda ke depan tentu kita harus mendorong transisi menuju energi hijau. Sekarang sudah terbukti dengan adanya B35 dan B40, ini sudah mampu menurunkan nilai impor minyak kita, meningkatkan nilai tambah produksi sawit di dalam negeri, dan juga lebih ramah lingkungan. Kita ingin meningkatkan produktivitas petani dan juga sektor maritim, tapi kita juga wajib menjaga keseimbangan alam.
However, Vice Presidential Candidate number 3, Mahfud MD, countered Gibran by saying that the government lacks commitment for sustainable development.
Tapi masalah yang kita lihat itu sebenarnya pengelolaan berkelanjutan belum dilakukan. Sebenarnya dulu ada garis-garis besar haluan semesta berencana yang sudah mengatur seperti ini dengan sangat rinci. Waktu tahun 62 atau 61 Presiden mengeluarkan kebijakan itu.
Meanwhile, Vice Presidential Candidate number 1 Muhaimin Iskandar voiced a similar concern, saying that the government lacks commitment regarding the issue.
Sayangnya, komitmen pemerintah hari ini tidak serius. Target energi baru dan terbarukan yang mestinya kita harus punya target 2025 berkurang dari 23 justru diturunkan menjadi 17%. Penundaan implementasi pajak karbon dilakukan oleh pemerintah hari ini. Dari tahun 2002 dimundur menjadi tahun 2025.
Gibran Rakabuming Raka responded by laying out examples of what he believes to be the government's commitment in sustainable and eco-friendly development.
Untuk masalah insentif, komitmen, ini bisa kita kasih contoh yang sudah berjalan saja. Contohnya pembangkit listrik tenaga surya yang ada di Cirata. Transisi menuju energi hijau ini memang tidak murah, sangat costly karena beberapa perusahaan memang belum bisa mencapai ekonomi soft skill. Tapi yang jelas adalah komitmen.
The achievement of basic agrarian law, fulfillment of agrarian reform mandates, disparities in land ownership, agrarian conflicts, and poverty alleviation were some other topics that were discussed during the vice presidential candidates.
In the discussions covering the topic of the achievement of basic agrarian law, Vice Presidential Candidate number 2, Gibran Rakabuming Raka, stressed the agrarian reform program enhancement, citing the comprehensive systematic registration's success with 100 million land certificates. He highlighted the One Map policy's importance, using digitalization to curb land disputes and mafias. He also reaffirmed commitment to expedite land redistribution, outlining a process involving the judiciary, land bank, and local entities.
Sekarang juga ada program One Map Policy. Ini sangat-sangat berguna sekali untuk mengurangi adanya konflik-konflik sengketa tanah, mafia tanah, dan lain-lain. Karena database-nya sudah digital, batas-batas tanahnya sudah tercapture semua di database. Ini akan sangat-sangat mengurangi yang namanya mafia tanah. Sekali lagi, reforma agraria akan kita lanjutkan dan kita kuatkan. Dan kemarin saya dan Pak Ganjar juga sempat mendapatkan predikat kota lengkap di kota Solo.
However, Mahfud MD pointed out land ownership inequality, citing the proportional disparity of land owned by large businesses compared to regular citizens.
Reforma agraria itu ada dua. Satu, ada tiga. Satu, legalisasi. Yang kedua, redistribusi. Lalu yang ketiga, pengembalian klaim-klaim hak atas tanah. Nah, ini yang sekarang belum satu pun ada sertifikat untuk redistribusi. Yang ada itu baru legalisasi, yaitu orang sudah punya lalu diberi sertifikatnya di situ. Yang lain belum dapat nih, redistribusinya nih.
Meanwhile, Muhaimin Iskandar noted that genuine implementation would result in the distribution of land rights. This aligns with constitutional principles that asserted state ownership, with the government tasked to distribute land assets in agrarian reform.
Pemerintah sebetulnya sudah memiliki Perpres 86 tahun 2018 yang menentukan lokasi prioritas reformasi agraria. Sehingga sebetulnya sederhana, laksanakan itu dengan sungguh-sungguh, maka akan terdistribusi hak-hak tanah.
We're counting down to 23 more days, yes, for not only the Valentine's Day of the year 2024, but also Indonesia's general election. And hopefully throughout the debate last night for our vice president candidates, you already know, and it's more clear for you who you should vote, because your vote and everyone's vote counted. And we're going to take a quick break right now, but when we return, Paul is set to bring you some sports updates. So on Friday, P, we're just going to get ready for the game of Vietnam-Indonesia. I've been reading all the, the newsletter for sports medias around the nation. People are saying, no, this is not a kid play. People are saying the Indonesian curses is finally broke because of Asnawi's goal. Is that true?
Well, we were expecting, like, if we can get a tie, it would be great. And we came out with a victory. So we have a loss. We have a victory. Unfortunately, Japan suffered a loss. That was very unexpected. So that puts us in third place tie with Japan. So now it's do or die for both the Samurai Blue and the Red and White. And that's going to be a big match that's going to take place on Wednesday. Big mountain to climb, but nevertheless, anything can happen. As they say in Indonesia, the ball is round. Anything can happen, right?
Yes.
So we've got all the latest coverage and news from the AFC Asian Cup that's going on in Qatar. We also have some of the latest updates from the NBA team, number 1 and number 2 in the West. Took each other on yesterday. We have all of the highlights from there, as well as the latest from the Australian Open as well. Djokovic is making a case for his 25th career Grand Slam. We've got all that and more when we return here on the C Morning Show. Do stay tuned. Your sports update is coming up next. Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on this match. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
The beauty and the excitement of being there, indescribable through such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in.
We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia. You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Hi everyone and welcome back to the C Morning Show. It is time for your Monday morning sports update. We're going to begin with some tennis news as Novak Djokovic has advanced to the 2024 Australian Open quarterfinals after thrashing Adrian Mannarino on Sunday with a score of 6-love, 6-love, and 6-3. Novak Djokovic was ruthless in a 6-love, 6-love, and 6-3 win over Adrian Mannarino to reach the Australian Open quarterfinals and match another of Roger Federer's Grand Slam records. In a rare daytime appearance in Rod Laver Arena, the 10-time Australian Open champion hit 31 winners and raced to victory in just 1 hour and 44 minutes to progress to the last 8 at a major for the 58th time. Meanwhile, the 35-year-old Mannarino had gone to 5 sets in all 3 of his previous rounds, and after missing a break point in the opening match, he almost never threatened Djokovic. Djokovic will next play either number 7 and last year's runner-up Stefanos Tsitsipas or the 12th ranked Taylor Fritz. And the latest update is that Taylor Fritz will be the next opponent for Novak Djokovic as he defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas, last year's finalist. However, it's Jannik Sinner that all eyes are on as he is right now destined to possibly meet Djokovic in the semifinals if he can make it through to that round as well. We will keep you posted on the men's side, but still from the Australian Open 2024, Sabalenka and Kostyuk both reached the quarterfinal rounds as well on the women's side. The number 2 ranked Sabalenka, who secured her first Grand Slam title at the Australian Open last year, defeated Amanda Anisimova by a score of 6-3 and 6-2. Despite Anisimova winning 4 of their previous 5 meetings, she could not counter the power of the Belarusian, who recorded 18 winners in total. A brief rain delay at 4-1 in the first set interrupted Sabalenka's momentum, but she quickly recovered and dominated in the second set. In the upcoming quarterfinals, Sabalenka will face either 16-year-old Mira Andreeva or number 9, Barbara Krejcikova. Meanwhile, Marta Kostyuk of Ukraine secured her spot in the major quarterfinals for the first time by defeating Maria Tomafieva 6-2 and 6-1. Kostyuk is set to compete against Coco Gauff for a place in the semifinals. All right, from tennis, let's move on to some football news as Thailand managed to play out a goalless draw against Oman at the 2023 AFC Asian Cup Group F match at the Abdullah bin Khalifa Stadium. Thailand moved one step closer to advancing to the AFC Asian Cup knockout stage after playing Oman to a goalless draw in their second Group F match in Doha, Qatar on Sunday. They now have 4 points and one final group match against 3-time Asian champions Saudi Arabia. However, Thailand will play Saudi Arabia without their captain Thirathon Bunmatan since he received his second yellow card while facing Oman. The draw leaves Oman with only 1 point in the competition as they currently face elimination. They must now win their final match against Kyrgyzstan on Thursday. And in other tournament-related news, Japan conducted a training session ahead of their clash against Indonesia in Qatar. Japan trained on Sunday ahead of their crucial AFC Asian Cup clash against Indonesia in Qatar. In addition, Japan recently suffered their first loss to Iraq in 42 years, which now hangs their hope of advancing to the round of 16 in the balance. Japan bags 3 points in Group D and must achieve a victory to get back on track. Meanwhile, Indonesia has also bagged 3 points after defeating Vietnam 1-0, and they need victory against Japan to secure a top 2 group finish. Prior to the match between Indonesia and Japan, the Indonesian Football Association, or PSSI Deputy Chairman Zainuddin Amali expressed his wishes for the Indonesian team to play optimally. He is hopeful that the team can qualify for the round of 16 and wins, or at least, at the very least, reaches a tie against Japan.
Kami di PSSI tentu optimis. Yang penting anak-anak main seperti semalam, dia fokus, dia sabar, dan kerjasama timnya bagus. Karena sebelumnya kan pertandingan sebelumnya Irak lawan Jepang kalah, ya kan? Jadi mudah-mudahan kita bisa juga mengimbangi ya. Dan tentu harapan kita sebagaimana target pelatih Sintayong untuk lolos ke dalam kelas besar, kita fokus ke situ.
All right, moving on now to some basketball news from the NBA, where the Oklahoma City Thunder managed to take down the Minnesota Timberwolves 102-97 at the Target Center. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 11 of his 33 points in the fourth quarter alone as the Oklahoma City Thunder bounced back and defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves 102-97. And they are now one game behind in the Western Conference standings. Jalen Williams added 20 points for Oklahoma City, while Minnesota native Chet Holmgren scored 15. The Thunder initially trailed by 11 points early in the fourth quarter before rallying back to win for the second time in their last 4 games to pull within 1 game of the conference leaders. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards, who netted 19 points, was fouled on a 3-point shot with 3.4 seconds remaining. However, he missed the first 2 crucial free throws and tried to intentionally miss the third to get Oklahoma City the rebound. On the opposing end, Karl Anthony Towns gained himself a double-double with 19 points and 11 rebounds.
Thunder called timeout. Chris Finch does not like that when they come out and aren't ready to play. Good contest. SGA just hit his 3rd field goal of this second half.
All right, and that last bit of news wraps up our sports updates for now. We will have more sports updates for you later on before the end of the program. The C Morning Show will now take another short break. But when we return, Alan and Caroline will be back to share with you some of the latest from the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depotsi.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday.
marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking debt to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Welcome back. You're still watching C Morning Show. It's time for us to deliver to you the entertainment updates. We'll start from South Korea, of course. Korea's latest action series, A Shop for Killers, has aired exclusively on Disney Plus Hotstar.
A Shop for Killers. All right. A very cool title right there, starring Lee Dong-wook and Kim Hyo-jun. This crime thriller may be the perfect way to spend your free time for the next few weeks.
A Shop for Killers is an 8-episode series that tells the story of a struggling female student called Jung-jan, who fends off a group of hitmen after she said her final goodbye to her uncle. Adapted from a popular original novel by Kang Ji-young, A Shop for Killers is set in modern-day Korea, where Jan is determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious death of her uncle, Jung Jin-man. It all began when her uncle decided to return to his childhood home. But a barrage of highly skilled assassins and killer drones attacked him as he begins to uncover some secret. Afterwards, Jen begins to remember the valuable lessons his uncle taught her and uses them to survive.
그냥 열어주면 안 돼. 할 수 있겠어?
Feeling confused and cornered, Jan must work quickly to find out the reason behind the attack on her uncle's childhood home.
지금부턴 삼촌처럼 생각하고 움직이는 게 좋을 거야. 살아남기 위해서는.
Starring Lee Dong-wook and Kim Hyo-jun, A Shop for Killers is now streaming on Disney Plus Hotstar, with new episodes coming every Wednesday.
You know, it's like 20 years ago when we see this, it's going to be very different, not necessarily from people from Asia, right? We see a lot of like Hollywood and the stars and whatnot, but seeing this now and seeing how Asian is represented through this, it was just really remarkable to see how growing the industry is now.
Yes, and it is very well made and well produced with very interesting plot. Wow.
I can't imagine though, because the lead actress, because her face looks like very cute and cuddly. I mean, like she looks like a goody girl, but she's playing this just very awesome jam-packed action, kind of series and a movie. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, we should watch
You have to help me to make me understand, because there's a lot of layers.
I subscribe to so many OTT platforms because of Korean dramas, because they're scattered, because the competition to obtain the license to air the series in Korea is very tough. So like K-drama lovers like me ended up subscribing to many platforms.
So they reached their target. For people to have multiple.
I subscribe. Gee. Okay, to another.
Next
time it's movie, right?
Yes, indeed. Mean Girls. Did you watch this one? The previous one, or the original one? This one.
Yeah.
Oh no, not this one. This is the remake. The Lindsay Lohan one.
I watch it. I was
that was
just
years
Googling,
ago.
Is it remake or not? They say like it is not remake, so we cannot say that it's a remake, but it's like a new interpretation.
A continuing story of that, right? Mean Girls fetches $11.7 million, by the way, people, in the second weekend to remain on top of the box office despite a quiet weekend in theaters.
Why it's quiet?
Yeah.
I don't know. Meanwhile, a handful of big-name flicks sought to make an impact ahead of Tuesday's Oscar nominations.
I have everyone's attention.
With a shortage of new releases in cinemas, Paramount Pictures' Tina Fey scripted musical Mean Girls pushed two-week total past $50 million, along with $16.2 million internationally. So far, it's outspacing the tally for the 2004 original Mean Girls.
Why is he by our table?
However, even for January. Historically a low ebb for moviegoing, it was sparsely attended weekend with paltry options on the big screen. The top 10 films collectively accounted for just $51.3 million in box office.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
Will you stomp his ass out?
The Jason Statham thriller, The Beekeeper, from Amazon MGM Studios, remained in second place, grossing $8.5 million in its second weekend to bring its total to $31.1 million.
Beekeepers is a special program outside.
Spent the past 7 years traveling the world perfecting my craft. You see, I'm something of a magician.
Meanwhile, 6 weeks into its smash run in theaters, Warner Brothers' Wonka was third with $6.4 million in ticket sales. It has taken in $187.2 million domestically.
Without selling chocolate, and you can't sell chocolate without a shop.
That's the jerk Poopy got when she was on a break from.
Also continuing to leg out was Sony Pictures' Anyone But You. The rom-com starring Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell crossed $100 million globally in its 5th week of release. It is the highest-grossing R-rated romantic comedy, a genre that has largely migrated to streaming platforms since 2016's Bridget Jones's Baby. Domestically, it came in fourth with $5.4 million.
Everyone work together.
What? May I have everyone's attention, please? We have a new...
This is the estimated ticket sales for Friday through Sunday at the US and Canadian theaters. Final domestic figures will be released on Monday.
Jerk Poopy got when she was on a break from Jonathan.
I could never be with someone like him.
This girl's a disaster.
There you go. Can't wait for the Oscars for this year. But, you know, this next story is the one that I've been really waiting for. After the memoir of Britney Spears, The Woman in Me, I was waiting, you know, last time when they broke up, Justin Timberlake made a song, Cry Me a River. Now, we're waiting for his response on this. Now, we have the answer. Justin Timberlake has just dropped his first new music in 6 years with his upcoming single titled Selfish.
I brag about you to anyone outside, but I'm a man of the woods, it's my pride. I'm sorry, baby.
The wait is over. Justin Timberlake confirmed that his new album is on the way after dropping Everything I Thought It Was album trailer.
What do we have here?
It has been 6 years from his latest album, Man in the Woods, released in 2018. The trailer has a little Wes Anderson steroid city vibes with a model car driving towards a desert gas station. At the end, yellow words against a black screen appear that reads, Justin Timberlake presents Everything I Thought It Was.
This is called Selfish.
The announcement came during Timberlake's concert at the Orpheum in Memphis. The pop star unveiled the new song to fans, which he also shared on YouTube. He performed Selfish, which he said is from the new album. The new album will be the 6th solo covering the Memphis-born singer's career and his first in 6 years.
What your initial reaction to the single?
I mean, I like a Cry Me a River back in the days, but this one, I need to really kind of like sit down and listen to it. Is he more talking about someone else or is he talking about himself? Because the Britney Spears memoir, I did not read thoroughly of, you know, the book of her memoir, but I do read of some of the scripts, and what she's really telling, it was like out in the open. It was not a good ending between Britney and also with Justin, and the way that she treated her was just not really, you know, was not really as what we see, because they were like the golden, you know, they were the golden couple. I mean, we do have Taylor Swift right now, but like back in the days, it was Justin and Britney Spears.
Power couple for teenagers.
That's right. And then we remember after they broke off, that's when Britney just spiraled down. So 2023, JT was just all quiet because of the memoir. So I guess 2024, he wants to share what his feelings and maybe the story from his side.
And it's up to us how to interpret the new song that he just dropped, right?
Yes, Selfish. Can't wait for that one.
Okay, now the 2024 Beach Life Festival will be back for its 5th year at the Redondo Beach from the 3rd to 5th of May. Let's take a look.
Southern California's premier live music, art, and culinary event, the Beach Life Festival, will return this year. Sting, Incubus, and My Morning Jacket are set to headline this year's event, along with Devo, Dirty Heads, Trey Anastasio, Classic Taps, and many more. The high-end live music event is organized and promoted by local restaurateur Alan Sanford. Since launching in 2019, the festival has quickly established a reputation for combining the best of Southern California's idyllic culture into one-of-a-kind immersive experience with something for everyone. The festival also featured wide-ranging food and drink offerings for acclaimed chefs, a unique on-stage dining experience, art installations, and many more. The tickets for 3 days and single-day general admission plus, VIP, Captain, and Admiral tickets are on sale now at www.beachlifefestivals.com. The price starts at $159 for single day and $399 for a 3-day pass. The festival was co-founded by Alan Sanford and Rob Lisner, along with brand director and Speakeasy stage curator Jim Lindbergh.
All right, folks, that does it for our entertainment update for this hour. We'll have more updates later on near the end of our show, but we're taking a short break right now. And when we return, See Today Business is coming up with Alin Wiratmaja with many more updates for you. Don't go anywhere.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi. Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable through such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go. A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya. Kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on the map. I'm horrible, I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Watching City Day Business with me, Alin Ratmaja. 2023 was a great year for U.S. stocks, whereas the last decade has been pretty good for U.S. stocks overall. However, the question that often arises in the investor's mind is, can the U.S. keep on winning? Stocks climbed on Friday, pushing the S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrial Average to record closing high. S&P 500 rose 1.2% to close at 4,839. This marked the S&P 500's first record close since January 2022. The Dow gained just over 1% to settle at 37,863. On a percentage basis, the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite was the biggest winner of the day, rising 1.7% to close at 15,310. The Nasdaq's record close stands at 16,057, reached in November 2021. Investor focus this week tuned back to big tech stocks, pushing markets to new heights as the key drivers of the late 2023 rally waned. The S&P 500 is about 23 times earnings, while most markets around the world, such as Europe and Japan, is about 15 times earnings. That means to buy a current dollar of profit in the U.S., one have to pay $23, while the rest of the world investors have to pay around $15 or less. Giant chip makers behind AI technology see an uptick to an all-time high as AI demand has yet to show a sign of slowing down in early 2024. Nvidia stocks rose continuously during Friday's trading and closed at $594 per share, or an increase of 4% on closing session on Thursday. The chip maker stock is up some 18% in the first week of 2024 and 179% over the last 12 months, and reached the market cap of $1.5 trillion. Meanwhile, Nvidia's competitor AMD also gained benefit from the AI hype as the stock was open at 165.8 on Friday, fell temporarily in the first hour, and then consistently rose to its all-time peak until close at 174, or increase of around 7% at closing session a day before. Another AI chip competitor, Intel, is not doing so bad, with an increase around 3% gained during Friday's trading, closing the day at $48. Intel stock price raised more than 60% in 2023. Internet companies from around the world convened to discuss the future of AI and the need for increased international cooperation in this rapidly evolving field at this year's World Economic Forum, or WEF, in Davos, Switzerland. The forum, which concluded its annual meeting on Friday, emphasized the importance of collaboration, particularly between East and West, to amplify the impact of AI on a global scale.
The discussion at this year's World Economic Forum, or WEF, centered on the integration of the artificial intelligence into various sectors, with industry leaders expressing the view that AI is becoming a driving force in the global economy.
所有的公司都在想着要么试图利用 AI， 所以这个已经成为一种非常已经是一个趋势了，因为后面的经济的驱动力已经在了，因为使用了它真的能够给企业带来非常多实实在在的价值。
Attention focused on the potential benefits of enhanced collaboration between countries on a global scale, which transcends regional boundaries. Many participants stressed the necessity of working together, both from the East and the West, to establish standards and promote global collaboration in the field of AI.
So I think that artificial intelligence is going to benefit everybody, and what we need to ensure is that we just work together, East and West, and do not compartmentalize, because AI needs to have certain standards, AI needs to have global collaboration.
The call for unity and collaboration echoes through the corridors of the World Economic Forum as the world witnesses the transformative power of AI.
Hundreds of ships detoured to avoid the Suez Canal and sailed an extra 4,000 miles around Africa. The ships burned fuel, inflated costs, and extended the journey by 10 days or more in each direction. About 150 ships passed through the Suez Canal during the first 2 weeks of this January. According to a maritime data platform, marine traffic thus was down from over 400 at the same time last year. Shipping companies have tripled the prices they charge to carry a container from Asia to Europe, which is partly to cover the extra cost of sailing around Africa. Container rates have not yet risen as much as they did during the COVID-19. This could worsen inflation. Even JP Morgan Chase estimated last week that worldwide consumer prices for goods would climb an extra 0.7% in the first half of this year if shipping disruptions continue. Tata Steel has confirmed plans to close blast furnaces at its plant in Port Talbot, South Wales. About 2,800 jobs will go over the next 18 months, with a further 300 to be lost. Tata plans to switch from coal-fired blast furnaces to electric arc furnaces, which emit less carbon and need fewer workers. The transition used an investment of £500 million or $634 billion from the British government. Tata Steel stated that it would commence the two-story consultation as part of its plan to transform and restructure its UK business. The company also expects that around 2,800 jobs will be eliminated, mostly in the next 18 months, with a further 300 at longer-term risk. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak admitted that it is a worrying time for those who have lost their jobs.
Well, I know, first of all, that it will be a worrying time for everyone affected, and because it's a commercially sensitive matter, people appreciate there's a limit to what I can say. But what I can tell you is we are absolutely committed to steelmaking in the UK, and that's why the government provided £500 million to support Tata. The alternative, by the way, was that the entire plant would be closed and all 8,000 jobs would be lost. But the government worked with the company, provided £500 million. The company is investing more money in order to safeguard thousands of jobs. And that's something that the UK government has done. The Welsh government did not participate in that. And that's because we cared about those jobs and the future of steelmaking in Wales and the UK. But as I said, there's an announcement coming later, and it's important that we wait for that.
So that's all for the business updates for this segment. Weekly recap. We will be returning with that with online trading. Sukor Sekuritas Head Daniel Wiguna is coming up after the break, so stay tuned.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking debt to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. You can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Welcome back again to See Today Business. With me, Alin Beratmaja, and we are joined by online trading Sukor Sekuritas head Daniel Wiguna. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Alin.
Yes, looking good. You too. But the weather is not really good, right? Yes. So we will discuss the market recap, of course. So what do you have for us today?
Yeah, talking about weather, it's not only the real weather, but if we see at the capital market also, we see a little bit turbulence because we see that the movement of our market is going on sideways. This indicates whether it's already everything's got priced in, the January effect is over, and we're still expecting a big sentiment by these months also.
It's different from what happened in the Wall Street though.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
like
yes.
S&P 500 hit
right.
all-time high, but we didn't see that being translated to our
market.
market.
Yeah. So we expect that would be happen on March this year. But if we are talking about the US market, we see a little bit anomaly, a lot of things quite happening like in the pandemic era, because we see not only the stocks market in the US is going up high, but the gold price, the crypto price also, if we see their interest rate is also got high, got appreciated and really on a high level of interest if we see their interest rate. So usually if their interest rate is high, the capital markets will going on a lower level, but everything is going on appreciation level. So yeah, we see this as an anomaly. So learning from the COVID situation, we see this as something that we should be looking really carefully.
Extra cautious.
Yes, extra cautious, because after everything got appreciated up high, sometimes a big correction will coming up. So I think we should brace for something. Yes, of course, both on every investment instrument, of course, we see.
Okay, so now let's have a review.
Yes, this is our review on last week market. So I only highlight two big data that we already see by last week. The first one is our trade balance surplus. So it would be around 43 or 44 months of our trade balance surplus, and we expect that this can be happening until our 48 months. So it would be like 4 years trade balance surplus.
So until first semester of 2024.
Yes. But we still see whether the commodity price is still on this level or not. So if the commodity price such as oil got lower to $65 to $60 per barrel, our trade balance surplus might got change into a deficit again. So because oil price affect a lot of commodity price, other commodity price, but our coal price, our CPO price, our steel and iron price, I think they already got priced in their on their level, on their comfort level. We see it. So I think everything, and we expect that everything will be depend on oil price in this first and second quarter. We wait for what will happen in our global oil price. What will the war tension getting up? If it's not, then everything is still be okay. If it's got up high, then our trade balance will be got surplus in a longer time, maybe on maybe until the end of 2024. Okay. So yeah, this is a plus and a minus level. The minus level, the war tension got up high, and the plus point for us, yeah, we got the we can got like trade balance surplus even more longer.
Okay then, and now let's talk about the Bank Indonesia 7-day reverse repo rate that is being maintained at 6%.
6%, yeah. If this keep happening, and Perry, what you said that they will maintain on this level until the end of 2024, it means we can already count or maybe calculate the profit margin of banking nowadays. So if this happens, of course we will see that banking sector is really an interesting sector to look on, not only on the big banks but the middle banks and the lower cap banks, of course, and also the digital banks. They can also have a potential to got appreciated or maybe having a bigger profit margin by this year. So this year, 2024, we see that this is a year of banking on banking sector, because the interest rate is maintained on this level until the Fed can lower their interest level for around 125 or 150 basis points. But we from Sukor Sekuritas project that there might be a possibility if the war tension got worsen abroad. The interest rate that can be cut by this year can be around 150 to 200 basis points.
So the
because
rate
it will
cuts will
push
be more
the inflation
aggressive.
level. Yes, it will push the inflation level, and it will push the Fed to slower their rate cuts.
Okay.
So yeah, that is the part that we should look on by this year for the whole 2024.
Okay, now for this week.
This week, sentiment review, we have two big data on our domestic data
Investment realization.
That we should look on. The first one is foreign and domestic direct investment data, and the second one is the money supply and the loan growth, because both of them got like a strong correlation in between to see our market abilities to fight the condition, the economic condition that will happening by this year. So the first one, our foreign and domestic direct investment got appreciated also. We are waiting for the fourth quarter data. We hope that it still can be appreciated, because we see that the third quarter it got appreciated by $3.3 billion. We hope that it can be higher on our fourth quarter. And also in money supply and loan growth, we see the money supply data got appreciated by 1%, 8.7. It got appreciated to 9.7. The question is, will the loan growth also got appreciated? Because on the November data, we see that the loan growth also got appreciated to 9.7%. The money supply got appreciated by 3.3%. So it gives a strong and good correlation. We hope on the December data, which this one will indicate how strong our economy, our banking sector, and the effect of the interest rate that happening on 2023 on full spectrum. So we hope that it can still got appreciated and got translated to banking sector in a better condition.
Okay.
So yeah, so after this, we hope that our capital market also can still maintain the 7,200 level or 7,250 level on our index.
Okay, let's now look at the chart of Jakarta Composite Index. What can we tell from this?
So this part that we can see for this week, we have like a strong support level on 7,115 or to 7,164. This is a strong support level that we should look on for this whole week, because we see that on this side, this is our year-to-date movement.
Yes.
We see that there is a sideways movement already, which indicates the January effect might be over, but yeah, we still have to look on until the end of January, because in February we usually see that the market will getting lower than January. So we need to brace, we need to do our math also to see how much that we would spend on the capital market at this level. So
is it going up? Or going down?
Most probably we should wait and see first, because on our RSI data the line is also getting sideways. We still calculate whether they will go up or they will go a little bit lower, but let's wait and see until which part will the index touch first. Is it the resistance line or the support line? Because our last movement is working on our moving average 20. It's in the middle. So yeah, it indicates a lot of investor who wants to see first, who wants to wait on another economic data, maybe from global or domestic. But from our MACD indicators, we expect that we might have that cross, yeah, in here, because it's going a little bit lower. The red line already wants to touch the blue line here. So if our market is going on a little bit lower, we expect 7,164 as the support for this week.
Okay. This is already giving a sign, right?
Yes, this part already giving a sign. So yeah, we expect if the same thing happened by this week, maybe our index will got lower than this.
So what strategies do you suggest to us in this kind of market atmosphere?
Maybe those investors who already have a lot of banking emittent in their portfolio,25 taking a little bit, maybe 25 to 50%.
Yes.
They should do some profit taking on big sector, and they might can do sector rotation.
To what sector?
To energy sector that already got corrected. Well, some of the stocks got already corrected or maybe we can find big caps emittent, big caps corporation, which is still lagging. As I mentioned 2 weeks ago, we still have automotive sectors, which still got lagging in their movement.
Disclaimer on, we still have lagging Astra International.
Yes, and also
for the big caps.
For the big caps, and also we still waiting for the movement of consumption sector, such as ICBP or INDF that we are expecting, and also we're still waiting for the movement from telecommunication sectors and the tower sectors, which there is Telkom, there is Indosat, there is Axel, Axiata, and of course on the smaller cap, we expect that there will be a movement on front. And also for the tower sector, we expect TOWR, to have some movement because most of these kind of big cap stocks is still got a little bit lagging on their movement. So yeah, maybe investor can switch a little bit from banking sectors to big caps emittent that is still lagging, like the one that we talk about, but once again disclaimer on.
Disclaimer on, and this is for what time frame? Or holding period?
Yes, holding period until March, until the end of
the first quarter of 2024. So for those who have floating profit quite significant in your portfolio because of your ownership of the big cap bank stocks, it's time maybe to realize some of your profit and switch that to some stocks which are still lagging despite their potential, as mentioned by Daniel Wiguna, head of online trading from Sukor Sekuritas. Disclaimer on, so this is for a time frame up to March 2024, the first quarter of this year, right? So, okay, other than that, you also mentioned about the energy stocks. Which energy stocks? Because we have plenty of commodity stocks in Indonesia.
Maybe we can look on, or a lot of investors can see the oil sectors, like Medco and ETC. So because if we see on Medco Energy, the movement is also still on their appreciation level on year-to-date data. So this emittent is quite interesting to look on because they have like 37 billion capital inflow already, and for their yearly data they already like accumulate 76.8 billion. So maybe this indicates a lot of foreign investors still look on Medco Energy, and also we see other oil sectors, oil emittent that might be interesting to look on, which quite similar to Medco Energy. And other than oil sectors, we still see that the CPO company, the CPO corporation, is still good to look on also because CPO and coal is prone to our China trading dynamics, yes, because even though China is lowering their demand on our coal and our CPO, they still keep demand, still having a higher demand month by month. So this part we should look on, of course, because the price of coal and also the crude palm oil price is going on sideways also. So it indicates the stability of the emittent price also. So energy sectors such as oil, CPO and coal is good to look on for investor if they want to switch their portfolio, because there is a stability around that level, around this level.
Okay then, thank you very much for sharing your insights, Daniel Wiguna, head of online trading from Sukor Sekuritas. And now we are set for a short break. When we return, we will bring you the world headlines.
Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-host.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick.
Point to Manado on this matter. I'm horrible, I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Their existence
is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
The beauty and the excitement of being there, indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in.
We found them.
Where people come and go.
A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia. You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik ya.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik ya.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone. It is time for us to update you on some world news. U.S. Navy transport armored cars from the USS Bataan warship to their base on Crete.
The U.S. Navy is reshuffling its warship deployment in the Middle East to maintain dominance in the region.
The United States military is now eyeing the longer haul as concerns mount that Israel's war on Hamas in Gaza could set up a regional conflict.
U.S. Navy and Marines from a Middle East task force transported their heavy armored vehicles on Saturday to a U.S. Naval Support Activity Facility at Souda Bay on the Greek island of Crete. The service members are deployed on the amphibious assault ship, the USS Bataan, which has been on duty in the region since October after the start of Israel's war on Hamas in Gaza.
The Bataan's responsibility was recently shifted from the Red Sea to the Eastern Mediterranean as the United States military seeks to consolidate its bolstered presence in the region amid fears that the conflict in Gaza could escalate further to involve the broader region. Elsewhere, Ecuadorian authorities recently seized 3.5 tons of cocaine hydrochloride from a semi-submersible of the coastal city of Esmeraldas on Saturday.
The Ecuadorian Armed Forces and the National Police also arrested 3 foreign nationals.
Ecuadorian maritime authorities seized a semi-submersible loaded with cocaine and detained 3 Colombian nationals 32 nautical miles off the coast of Esmeraldas in the north of the country on Saturday.
According to authorities, they found 161 large packages and 1 small package with around 3.5 tons of cocaine inside the semi-submersible.
They were bound for the international market wrapped in jute sacks with packing tape and reached an estimated value of $50 million. Authorities seized the shipment and detained several individuals who have been handed over for legal proceedings.
En este operativo se logró la incautación de un semisumergible de bajo perfil en el que estaría al interior de este sustancias sujetas catalogadas a fiscalización, un total aproximado de 3.5 toneladas que luego de haber realizado la prueba preliminar homologada dio positivo para clorhidrato de cocaína. Esta mercancía valorada aproximadamente sobre los $50 millones. Con este operativo el bloque de seguridad reafirman el compromiso con la patria en la defensa y la soberanía y la seguridad integral de todo el Estado ecuatoriano.
In another news, according to a report by British media, Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson, was recently diagnosed with skin cancer. It came just 6 months after she was treated for breast cancer.
The Duchess of York has been diagnosed with malignant melanoma following the removal of a mole during breast cancer treatment. According to her spokesperson, Sarah Ferguson had several moles removed and analyzed while having reconstructive surgery after her mastectomy.
The Duchess, Sarah Ferguson, remains in good spirits despite the distressing ordeal of having another cancer diagnosis. And the Duchess also thanked the private medical team that supported her during her treatment.
The Duchess confirmed a diagnosis for breast cancer last June following a routine mammogram screening. She went on to have a single mastectomy at the King Edward VII Hospital, a private clinic used by senior royals in London.
Right, and as we know that the Duchess Sarah Ferguson is the ex-wife or the former wife of Prince Andrew, and again, as we just reported, she is now just battling breast cancer, and then there was an identified of a mole, and then they tried to figure out what is this, what may cause of this, and it is melasma. And as of right now, it is they're still under investigation to whether found out if this is still the early stages. Our heart goes to the Duchess Sarah Ferguson, but she's not the only royal, especially from Buckingham Palace, that is undergoing some treatments. We know now last week that the Princess of Wales, Catherine Middleton, was also had it abdominal surgery, and that's why that she, for the next 10 days now, about like in a week, that she's going to be rested. And this includes that Prince William, that's also going to be next with her. There's a surgery by King Charles III. The king himself now is under treatment for a benign enlarged prostate, and because of this, he's trying to now to be more public of what is going on. Usually the royals don't really share of health issues they're undergoing, but now he just wants the people to be more aware. And I think it's great to have the king trying to be more open to the public and his public too, and his servants.
I'm sure the people are obviously giving their full support.
Yes.
Hope for a quick recovery as well, especially for the Duchess of York.
That's right.
Right, let's move on to another part of the world where former physician and current Taiwanese Vice President Lai Ching-te has won the Taiwanese presidential election on January the 14th.
This triumph extends the Democratic Progressive Party's hold in the government for the next 4 years. Despite this, his accession has garnered mixed reactions from the international community.
Upon winning the 2024 presidential election, Lai Ching-te from the DPP addressed the crowd, hailing this development as Taiwan's commitment to democracy. DPP is a party that is known to oppose the People's Republic of China's influence and rhetoric regarding reunification with the mainland. Furthermore, Lai proclaimed that this is a message to the international community that it will choose democracy over authoritarianism.
在民主和威权之间，我们选择站在民主这一边。中华民国台湾会继续和国际民主盟友 并肩同行。
Meanwhile, the European Union have provided a warm welcome to the new presidential-elect. The European Commission spokesperson expressed enthusiasm for furthering relations between the EU and Taiwan and championing their shared values. Japan also offered congratulatory speech as Foreign Minister Kamikawa called Taiwan an extremely crucial and important partner and friend. However, none of those two actors have mentioned words supporting Taiwan's independence, a commonality with the U.S. Biden administration. President Joe Biden explicitly mentioned that the U.S. does not support Taiwan's independence, deeming interference with the election as unacceptable. The U.S. sent its former National Security Advisor Stephen Hadley to congratulate the upcoming Taiwanese administration.
We are honored to have the opportunity to meet with you today to reaffirm that the American commitment to Taiwan is rock solid, principled, and bipartisan, and that the United States stands with its friends. We look forward to continuity in the relationship between Taiwan and the United States under the new administration, and for common efforts to preserve cross-strait peace and stability.
Meanwhile, other countries provided rather lukewarm reactions to Lai Ching-te. Indonesia's foreign ministry spokesperson have reiterated its respect for the One China policy. Meanwhile, Philippine President Marcos Jr. expressed congratulatory words for Taiwan's new presidential-elect and conveyed willingness to collaborate for mutual interests. The People's Republic of China did not take President Marcos' reaction lightly, claiming that the Philippines had rudely interfered with its internal affairs.
马克思总统的有关言论严重违反一个中国原则和中非建交公报，严重违背非方对中方所做的政治承诺，粗暴干涉中国内政。中方对此强烈不满，坚决反对，已于第一时间向非方提出强烈抗议。今天上午，农荣部长助理召见菲律宾驻华大使，提出严正交涉，敦促非方给中方一个负责任的交代。
Over the years, more and more Pacific Island states have been severing ties with Taiwan. Nauru have just become the latest addition. Amid careful approaches to Taiwan's latest development, Nauru have decided to cut ties with Taiwan as it claimed to Taiwan an unalienable territory belonging to the People's Republic of China. Canberra have supported Nauru's decision as a sovereign state.
This was a decision by the sovereign government of Nauru, and we respect their decision. I would make the point that 3 Pacific Island Forum members recognise Taiwan, 13 members recognise the People's Republic of China, including Australia. And we've got excellent relations with every single Pacific Island nation, including those ones who recognise the PRC. So we respect Nauru's decision. What you've seen under the Albanese Labor government is a very significant improvement in our relationship with the Pacific.
Meanwhile, China said that it welcomes Nauru's move to break its so-called diplomatic ties with Taiwan. Taiwan now has official ties with 11 countries and the Vatican. 7 of the nations are in Latin America and the Caribbean, while 3 are in the Pacific and 1 is in Africa.
Authorities issued warnings across most of the U.S. as brutally cold weather continues to move south.
Bitterly frigid air spilled into the Midwest from Canada on Friday as authorities and forecasters warn of wind chills down to minus 30 degrees in several states throughout Sunday morning.
Lake-effect snow pounded northwestern Indiana on Friday into Saturday, creating near whiteout conditions near Lake Michigan and making the busy highway corridor in and out of Chicago treacherous. Reports say that as many as 35 inches of snow fell on Michigan City, Indiana, just 60 miles east of Chicago, prompting Mayor Angie Nelson and city officials to declare a snow emergency on Friday.
Can I say crazy, but with the Capitals? Yeah, I've been out 3 days with no sleep. I'm at people's beck and call because number one, they have to get out. You know, I cater to the elderly. Thank God I got all new equipment.
The snow emergency was then extended to Saturday afternoon.
We wanted to make sure that everybody was safe, and also it allowed our team to get out there and work some because again, the snow kept coming and it kept coming and it kept coming.
The Weather Service forecast above average temperatures across most of the country next week. The National Weather Service predicts temperatures could drop as low as 15 degrees below zero in portions of Arkansas, Mississippi, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Kansas. The frigid weekend weather follows 2 weeks of storms causing at least 61 deaths around the country. Many pipes burst in Memphis that 400,000 people were told to boil their water.
All right, Paul, so it seems like it's...
I was going to say.
it's like your backyard right there.
A regular winter day in Canada, back in the Great White North. Yeah.
So if you remember, I mean, you came back, what?
Late 2001.
Okay, so it's about like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
how was it 20 years ago for like this period of time there in Canada?
Well, winters are always rough, especially January, and the worst of it would usually be in February. It's not only the snow, we would get some heavy snow, but the wind chills would be really tough as well.
Yeah.
But I'm getting reports from my family all the time that because of climate change, I suppose, it's been really weird. There's been some like kind of timid winter days,
right.
but then there would be these really cold summer nights.
Yes.
But again, once the snow falls in Canada, it's no joke.
That's it, yeah.
I used to live in a basement apartment. I got locked in my home for 2 days once. Yeah, could not get out because all the snow filled up all the way to the top of my door.
But you have like your fireplace and everything,
well, I had to like knock on my landlady upstairs. I'm gonna have to go
heater on, please. But anyways, yes, in regards to that, I was calling my sister also. She lives in California, and I was like, how is it? How's the winter days now for you? It's really flipping because even in December and January, there are days where they need to wear coats because like
what
it's
would
so
it
freezing.
Like
it should be in like 50s and low 50s, you know, especially because we live in the coastal of the ocean, right? We're near Huntington Beach, and she's like, but now they're like warmer days, even in winter.
Yeah.
So up to like about 70, 72, and that's quite warm. They don't need to wear any kind of like jackets or coats and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
it's happening everywhere.
and it's been flipping. That's the worst part of it because some people like, okay, should I bring my coat or not?
Yeah.
And like because I feel like you get sniffles and sick because of it, because of the the weather anomalies.
I remember like the last time I visited Canada a few years ago in the summer, I went out in the day with t-shirt and shorts, and I was freezing by nighttime. I had to get home as soon as I could. I forgot to bring a jacket and should have wore long pants. There you go. I never know how to dress these days.
There you go. But you know what?
Because of the climate change.
Yeah.
That's right. If you live here in Indonesia, all you need to put is an umbrella in your car and like right in your vehicles. But it seems that Paul is don't want to return, especially during the snow time in Canada, right? Gonna snowplow all of that. All right. So, folks, we're gonna take a break right now, but when we return, we'll have some more updates now in regards from Southeast Asia. Don't go anywhere.
Yay!
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Group of volunteers operating in the south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine. Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking that to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone. It is now time for us to see what's been making headlines across Southeast Asia this morning.
And we'll begin from Cambodia, where Prime Minister Hun Manet marked his official visit to France by meeting the Cambodian community in Paris on January the 14th. He outlined the trip as Cambodia's introduction to international organizations, entrepreneurs, and the global community. Furthermore, he underscored the importance of actively participating in the global economic sphere by advocating Cambodia's policies, ensuring conducive business environments, and fostering connections with other ventures.
Moving on to Thailand and Malaysia, where both countries are considering to link Sungai Kolok Station in the south with Thailand's eastern coastline to boost trade and tourism. In addition, train agencies from the two nations are working on a proposal to link the border. Should the proposal come through, it will link the Southern Thai Railway line at Sungai Kolok in Narathiwat province with Malaysia's eastern line at Rantau Panjang in Kelantan. According to Thai authorities, the connection will promote more commerce, border crossings, tourism, and investment between both nations.
And finally, from the Philippines, where the country boosted their defense cooperation with Canada after signing a defense MOU on the 75th anniversary of Philippines-Canada diplomatic ties. Both sides intend to boost defense relations to new heights, aside from bolstering bilateral ties. Some are hopeful that the MOU may establish a more robust cooperation with a primary focus on Visiting Forces Agreement, or VFA, which prioritizes military education and training exchanges, among other initiatives.
All right.
All right, let's go to our next story, which takes us to Vientiane, Laos, where a local businesswoman, Mala Vong Maniseng, has repurposed waste paper into valuable souvenirs.
Very interesting. The recycled paper craft business not only brings her lots of fortune, but also creates jobs opportunities for locals and raises environmental awareness among younger generation.
For 10 years, a Lao woman named Malawong Maniseng has been inspired to recycle leftover paper and use her creative ideas to convert it into something worthwhile that can be sold as souvenirs to visitors. She uses waste paper to make Buddha images, replicas of the Batusai monument, temples, paper toys, and so on, in response to the market demand.
We're here at Miss Malawong's art gallery, where she exhibits many of her masterpieces. Her art showcases the Lao nature, the Lao culture, and the beauty of the Lao lifestyle, and some are even customizable to the customer's wants. The price ranges from $20 up to $1,000. Looking up close, they look astonishing and amazing. Now let's take a look at some of them.
Because of their eye-catching appearance and environmental friendliness, the reused handmade paper products have become very popular, not only among foreign visitors but also with Lao people. Items made from recycled paper and paper toys are becoming increasingly popular around the world, particularly in Southeast Asia, due to growing awareness of environmental issues. Miss Malawong's business has become a successful business model for recycling waste paper for environmental protection.
ผลิตภัณฑ์ของเฮานี่ได้รับความนิยมหลายขึ้นนี่ย้อนว่าเฮานี่พัฒนาผลิตภัณฑ์เนาะเฮาพัฒนาตั้งแต่เรื่องสีเรื่องการทำความสะอาดง่ายและก็ความมันที่มีคุณภาพขึ้นโดยการเฮ็ดให้สังคมนี่เริ่มหันมาเบิ่งว่าอันนี้ผลิตภัณฑ์จากอีหยังทั้งที่เฮานี่เฮ็ดมาจากเชื้อเซลล์
Miss Malabong set up the Lư Sai Kong art handicraft business in 2012. At the beginning, she didn't have much success because nobody was interested in recycled paper crafts, saying that it was just waste paper and they didn't see any value or attraction in them. Although her unused paper handicrafts were rejected, she did not give up. On the contrary, she put more effort into beautifying and diversifying the things she made to satisfy customers' taste and preferences.
เฮารู้สึกว่าการแข่งขันชนะ UN ในมื้อนั้นหันถือว่าเปลี่ยนชีวิตของพวกเฮาเลยถ้าบ่มีการแข่งขันมื้อนั้นหันก็ถือว่าเฮานี่น่าจะยังบ่ทันได้ไปฮอดไสเพราะว่าเฮาเป็นผู้ที่บ่ได้มีทุนมีหอนอีหยังแต่ว่าก็ยังมีใจอยากเฮ็ดผลิตภัณฑ์นี้ขึ้นมาเพื่อเฮ็ดเป็นผลิตภัณฑ์ของคนลาวแท้ๆโดยที่เป็นผลิตภัณฑ์รีไซเคิล
The recycled paper craft business not only earns her about 30 million kip a month, but also creates jobs for local people and helps to raise awareness among young people about the need to conserve the environment.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. What about you? Where does your trash end up? Prisa Sendongde reporting for C Today, Vientiane, capital, Laos.
All right, we're going to take another short break here. Before we do so, I want to send a quick reminder. If you haven't already done so, you can stay connected with us via our social media platforms at C Today News on either Instagram, X.com, or YouTube. Coming up next, as we head into our final hour of the program, we're going to have the second talk show of the day with Pedestrian Coalition founder Ahmad Safruddin in commemoration of 2024 National Pedestrian Day. Stay tuned.
Binjai mau migrasi. Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik ya.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
The beauty and the excitement of being there.
Indescribable to lose such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we? Come on in. We found them.
Where people come and go. A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
You don't have to be good with your foot. You can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I wasn't bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Their existence
is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
The National Pedestrian Day is celebrated annually every January 22nd, dedicated to all pedestrians and their right to walk safely. This day was designated by the Pedestrian Coalition to commemorate an accident in which a car crash caused the death of 8 pedestrians in central Jakarta on January 22nd, 2012. Since then, this day has become a reminder to defend the rights to safe and comfortable sidewalks and to fight for more walkable cities. In Jakarta, many sidewalks are often packed with street vendors and parked motorcycles, leaving little to no space for pedestrians.
Membahayakan banget sih buat orang-orang, terutama aku, dan kadang aku juga suka jalan sama orang-orang yang sudah lansia atau ibu hamil gitu. Harapannya ke depan sih mungkin dari pihak masyarakatnya lagi ya, untuk terutama ibu kota gitu. Jadi mereka tuh lebih aware kalau misalnya trotoar itu untuk pengguna jalan, bukan untuk mereka sebagai pengguna berkendara gitu.
Harapan kedepannya semoga pedagang dikasih tempat khusus kalau yang daerah-daerah stasiun. Jadi biar pejalan kaki yang lainnya bisa lebih nyaman lagi, nggak sempit-sempitan.
Seperti Cikarang atau Tangerang yang daerah pinggir, itu malah trotoar dipakai bukan dengan benar, bukan peruntukannya. Jadi mungkin perlu semua pihak ya untuk memperhatikan itu kembali.
Jakarta has only around 8.2 meters of sidewalks for every 100 meters of road as of 2021. Meanwhile, these sidewalks are narrow, cracked, and even unwalkable due to their inadequacy. While in fact, pedestrian facilities could empower people's relationships with their cities, improve physical and mental health, as well as becoming a more accessible option for citizens. Hopefully, in the future, the government, communities, and all citizens could work together to build more inclusive pedestrian facilities, including sidewalks and zebra cross that could be safer and more comfortable for all pedestrians. Adelia Dinda and Reza Anidita for See Today.
Happy National Pedestrian Day, everyone. And no surprise, in Indonesia, the number of pedestrians continue to increase. That's because more people are trying to be more health conscious. There are more facilities available to us these days. However, many Indonesians are still unaware about the actual function of the sidewalks and, more importantly, the rights of us as pedestrians, as you can see in that previous video as well.
That's right.
There's so much to unpack there. I mean, the fact that sometimes vehicles, like two-wheelers, even go up on sidewalks. There are street vendors that sometimes block the area. So as pedestrians, we have to sometimes take a little shortcut onto the road. So, you know, you've spent time abroad as well as myself. How would you compare right now Indonesia's infrastructure for pedestrians? Current state, at least here in Jakarta.
It's getting better, I would say. It was very different if we were talking about like 2 decades ago, right? And I remember when I went, the first time that I went back here to Indonesia, my mom was always said it's very different here when you want to walk, because back in the States, you know that you have the rights, especially when you're walking. In the traffic light, you have to stop like way before the zebra cross.
Correct. Pedestrian is number one.
That's right. Like you can't. You always have the upper rights, right? But it's very different here when cars and maybe motorcyclists, they don't stop for us pedestrians. Even when we're already walking the sidewalk, sometimes
we're the ones that's looking left and right just to make sure, right?
That's right. So it's quite dangerous for us, especially if you're walking. But now that I see, even the sidewalks are getting more. You know, it's more larger in size, and they're taking care of. You know, it seems like they're taking care of the cleanliness. There's no more street vendors and whatnot. I think it's safe also for us.
I believe so. And there's a very important word that we used to use in Canada, which is yield. yield to pedestrians. Like everywhere you go, you have to yield because you have to make sure, because pedestrians are the ones at risk because we're not protected. We're not in any sort of vehicle or protection. And in another case like here, if you ask my opinion, I've lately sometimes when it's not rainy season, I like to take the MRT, but the MRT doesn't reach all the way here. So I would have to walk, and I could walk the entire way on a beautiful sidewalk, and there's no street vendors, no vehicles on there, but unfortunately that's not in the large parts of the city. That's just only in certain areas as well.
Now that's why today we already have our guest right here in our studio from the Pedestrian Coalition founder, or the founder, Ahmad Safruddin, and in commemorating of the 2024 National Pedestrian Day. Good morning, Ahmad. Thank you so much for being here with us. Happy Pedestrian Day for us. So let's talk about your coalition, or the Pedestrian Coalition. Who initiated? Of course you did, but with like all your team members and whatnot, what made you, or what made this coalition happen?
Yes, actually, since 2011, we established this coalition. After almost 10 years, we have a campaign how we can encourage people to reduce their dependency on the motor vehicle. You know, Car Free Day, we initiated in 2001.
Wow, okay.
With a mission how we can improve the pedestrian facilities, bike path, and also make mass public transport like that. But you know, after 10 years, Car Free Day, infrastructure for pedestrian facilities not there. So finally, we need to push again by establishing of the pedestrian coalition, or KOPK, Koalisi Pejalan Kaki. That in 2011.
Wow.
Okay, so then since Car Free Day, so it's basically about half of that time was spent, and then this coalition was formed. What sort of campaigning do you actually do in order for people to be more aware of pedestrians' rights, most importantly? Because as pedestrians, like Caroline said, we don't know our rights. We're actually worried all the time. I would like to know that I can walk safely, but we don't know what our rights are.
Yeah, the first is we have research and studies like that, and then we drafting the policy paper like that, and we submitted to the government. And part of the policy paper, we also follow up with the campaign material like that, and like how we can reduce our dependency on the motor vehicle by walking, cycling, or utilize mass public transport like that. So of course, we know that in Indonesia, especially like in Jakarta, in the past it's very dangerous if we walk in the sidewalk like that. You know, motorcycle just occupy that, and then also street vendors. You know, that's also. So finally, from 2011, we have a movement to push them, whatever street vendors or motorcycle rider that's occupied the sidewalk, we avoid that from the sidewalk like that. Even that's also very dangerous for us. You know, we have no rule. There is no regulation that's give us the rule.
There's no actual law that actually protects the pedestrian.
Those are just ethics, you know. Ethics, yes, of course. Ethics, we can you know, we can remind someone if they against the law by occupy the sidewalk like this, but not more like that. You know, the role is belong to civil service police and also traffic police like that. Not us actually.
As a coalition, but then you can report it to them, right?
Yes, of course.
What's happening?
Yes. You know, from the policy paper, we also make a policy dialogue with them, with the traffic police, civil service police, and other stakeholder like transport agency, environmental agency, and all of like that. And you know, in 2011, we also have a project in Yogyakarta. The title is Enhancing Walkability in Yogyakarta, like that. And you know, after 10 years, we have a better sidewalk in Malioboro.
I noticed. I was there last time I saw it. I couldn't recognize it.
Really?
It looks so different now.
It really changed. So what do you think? I mean, Paul was asking me the same question, and I want to cater that question also to you. How do you think, and how do you foresee, or how do you see now the changes, especially on sidewalks or the facilities for the pedestrians?
Yeah, I think that's better compared with in the past like that. So, you know, we have a study on the walkability index like that. In 2010, like Jakarta, walkability is still in 32 index
32. 32nd
to 100 index like this.
Okay.
32, yeah, 32. And then in 2014, we make a study again. That's increased to be 43.
Right.
And today, in the range of 55, 56, something like that. In the central Jakarta, that's better. 66, the index, I guess.
How does that compare to like other cities? I'm curious. Like, what's the average on a regular metropolitan city?
Yes, yes, of course. If you look at the Asian cities, metropolitan in ASEAN, that's we still below like this. You know, in Asian cities, that's average. That's 63. I think that's good. That's average. Part of them has index 81 or something like that.
Okay.
And in Indonesia, we have a small city like Magelang or Ngawi, the small city. That's better. They have index 77 like that. I think that's a very good thing.
Is it because of the culture? They're still, walking. It's a part of their regime as of us here in Jakarta. So we're used to get out of a house, just
into
go
a car.
That's it. Or a motorcycle.
Yes, on the other hand, also like that's actually the small city. I think all of city, especially in Java Island, from the past they have a structure that's very good. For motor vehicle, and then any green belt, and then for non-motorized, like for becak and bike like that, and then after that sidewalk like that. From the beginning, that's established a structure like that. That's very good for the non-motorized transport, especially for the walking or for pedestrian like that. But in another city like Jakarta, for instance, or like Semarang, even in the past they have a good structure for motor, for the road structure like this. But finally, from the development, transport development, that's just occupied that.
Yes.
But in the small city like Magelang, Ngawi, that's better because probably. Intensity of development not different with the big city like Semarang or Jakarta like that.
And they have less vehicles to deal with as well, because when you get those heavy traffic days, people then are tempted to take a shortcut. If I just take a little bit of the sidewalk, and those are the little things that matter, right?
Yeah.
Now, elections are coming up in a few weeks, and the bad news is that we're getting more and more of these election billboards and posters. We're seeing on social media that even motorcyclists, there have been a couple that have been hit by fallen posters and billboards, especially in the bad weather that's been happening lately. Can you tell us a little bit about how what response has been taken to all of these? Because these can definitely hamper a pedestrian's journey, whether it's on a sidewalk or anywhere else.
Yeah, of course, that's we concerned about that. Politician, political party, and also success team from the presidential candidate just avoid that thing that's very important. Of course, that's against the law, like things.
That's what they're.
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking.
Very huge.
Some of these are really big, and what's the problem is like they can't see like any oncoming traffic and things of that sort. So what sort of action can be taken here? I mean, are we asking them to reduce some of these or put them in a safer place?
Yeah, I think from us we just reported that to the related government, like. KPU, like that's a General Election Committee, and then we also reported to Bawaslu. That's also. On the other hand, we also reported to the Civil Service Police, like that.
Okay.
We want that like a Civil Service Police can record that billboard and another because that very disturb. For the pedestrian.
Absolutely.
That's right. It could be placed somewhere else. That's, much more better.
The ironic thing is they're trying to make pedestrians see these things. That's why they're putting them right in front of our faces.
It's just so huge sometimes. Maybe for those, the one that's motorcyclists or maybe the ones in the cars.
Yeah.
But not for those, walking, because that's like really huge. You can't even see the numbers.
So many of them.
That's right. Now, in regards to this, also, Pa Ahmad, there's been a video in the social media that's been circulating on a pedestrian trying to stop motorbike riders who use the sidewalk. I mean, this is not uncommon, for us. But what legal action can we take as a pedestrian when things like this happen to us?
Because if I can add on, sometimes the motorcyclists are the ones that get upset at the pedestrians. Meanwhile, the pedestrians are trying to show that, hey, this is our right of way.
Yeah, actually, we just have a role to rebind them, to push them from the sidewalk like that. Of course, mostly in the past, motorcycle riders, they just against us. Because they still would like to utilize the sidewalk for their way like that. But finally, if now, I think you can see that motorcycle rider, they also seem finally with the situation. They don't want to utilize sidewalk again for their way to reach their destination like that. Yeah, and of course, we have no role for that by law. But of course, higher of the law, we have ethics. Ethically, we can remind them, and of course, we make a coordination with related key stakeholder, key decision maker, like as I mentioned before, traffic police and civil service police, and another to make a better for the enforcement who occupy the sidewalk like that.
I think that's important, like having the enforcements from the government and from law authorities in order for them to help the pedestrians. Because, what's a motorcyclist without their motorcycle? A pedestrian. We're all pedestrians.
That's right.
Yeah, our role just make education, something like a campaign, just like that.
And it's also a win-win solution. I mean, the law enforcement and anyone from the government official and even private sector too, having the pedestrian coalitions, reporting stuff. So it's like, it's a win-win solution for both, right? We just want to have like a good, peaceful situation, especially for the pedestrian. Now, in regards to this, Pak Ahmad, we also wonder what kind of programs that you are, trying to plan for the pedestrian coalition for the future, maybe for the shorter and longer plan.
Yes, we still focus on the public education to encourage people more longer walking like that, not just for sport, but the important thing how we can do walking as a transportation
like a day-to-day thing. When you go to work, try to find a way where you can walk.
So how we can to make changing the lifestyle of people by a campaign like that. And secondly, we also have a program to continue on the study of the walkability index on the city, to make understand what is the level of walkable city in the certain years like that. And the last, we also have a program on the pedestrian camp. We would like to invite all of members from the whole country in the camp, and then we discuss what is the program in the future in relation with how we can to improve the people willingness to walk, and political willingness from the government to make a better pedestrian facilities. On the other hand, we also would like to encourage related people, probably like from engineer. They also must understand how we can to design for sidewalks. Sometimes that's a sidewalk that's not comfortable for the people to walking. And they just thinking that's better give the facility for the motor vehicle and avoid the pedestrian interest like that.
And I would say like, I don't know what you call them, interchanges where, having sidewalks is great, but how do I get from one destination to another? It's not just involving sidewalks, but there's crosswalks involved as well, how to cross a road, so the bridges that over roads and things of that sort. So I would say that 22 years ago now, when I moved here to Indonesia, I used to try to walk places, and I would have friends say like, Like they look at me like I had a second head. They're like, well, why would you walk?
Yeah.
But nowadays, I think that mindset that Bahamat is talking about is slowly, not just slowly, in fact, I think it's growing a lot here in our city as well, that people want to walk. We just want to make sure that we're safe while we're doing it.
Yes.
So in relation to that, what are your hopes for this year's National Pedestrian Day?
Yes, we hope that government more give attention and a political willingness to allocate the budget to make a better sidewalk and other pedestrian facilities, and also make better, today look like any unfairness for the pedestrian. Government still focus to give the facilities for the motor vehicle, like GPO or crossing facilities like in the bridge and something like that. That's also unfairness for the people that walking like this. For the car, give the facilities very easy to pass like that. But for the people, pedestrian, must
we have to climb a bunch of stairs. Very
difficult.
True.
So that's unfair. So that's better in the future. There's also any willingness to construct zebra cross, something like that, rather than the bridge for crossing people in the street, something like that. So.
Great.
So, hey, body is your vehicle, right? It is a vehicle you got from God, by the way. So utilize it as much as you can.
And you only get one, by the way. Bahamat, thank you so much for joining us on this National Pedestrian Day. And we hope that you will also implement more walking into your day-to-day life and activity, because it is a great thing for you to do. Not just it is great for your body and your health, great for the environment, and great for our city as well. And on that note, we're going to take another break here on the program. But in case you joined us late, we will recap and bring you more news when we return here on the C Morning Show. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking that to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku deportasi.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh.
Aduh ya Allah. Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu, dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like, you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
A group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
folks, welcome back to the program. In this segment, we'll have some features of travel destination across the world. We begin with Indonesia, of course, where the beauty of Curug Sewu waterfall in Kendal, Central Java has become a tourist attraction that appeals to visitors. However, to fully experience the place, visitors must follow a trekking route that involves ascending hundreds of steps.
The natural beauty of the forest captivates the eyes along the trekking route leading to Curug Sewu waterfall in Kendal, Central Java. However, visitors need to prepare extra energy to ascend hundreds of stairs to reach their destination. And if you are tired, there is a local community-run kiosk available as a rest stop midway along the trek. Not only the waterfall, but along this trekking route, tourists can enjoy the scenic view of archaeological caves and a spring known as Tuklana. This spring is believed to have an anti-aging properties, so many visitors wash their faces there.
Trekkingnya sangat menantang, bagus sekali, terutama untuk spot tanjakan maupun tikungan, bagus untuk olahraga. Wah, surprise, sampai bawah sangat surprise. Kesejukan hawa dari air terjun ini sangat sejuk sekali. Terbayarkan di pas sampai lokasi di bawah.
Jadi capeknya hilang, Mas ya?
Capeknya sangat hilang. Beda sama yang di atas, lebih bagus di bawah sampai di bawah di lokasi.
Curug Sewu manager Aryo Widianto said that the trekking routes to the waterfall will be renovated, making it an attractive feature in itself.
Jalur trekking kami bangun untuk mendukung program Pak Bupati Diko Garimbuto, sport tourism gitu. Jadi itu memang kami sandingkan dengan wisata edukasi geologi, gua-gua purba, kemudian ada wisata religi Tok Lanang, kemudian ada juga wisata pohon-pohon langka. Jadi sekalian trekking, anak-anak muda ini bisa sambil belajar sejarah. Demikian.
For you who curious about the adventurous trail at Curug Sewu, feel free to come and experience the thrill of navigating this challenging yet delightful trekking route. See Today contributor reporting from Kendal, Central Java.
Yes, and indeed, trekking has been in the hype as of nowadays because all you need is a pair of your legs and a pair of your running shoes or your walking shoes, and you can trek all the way and just seeing this beautiful sceneries wherever you are. But for this one, you need a more heavier equipment because the 2023-24 ski season in Italy is currently underway, and the lifts are primed to transport eager skiers to the pristine slopes. Winter sports are capturing the hearts of many, with projections indicating that over 4 million Italians will revel in the joy of snow come January 2024. Ciao Bella, arrivederci.
Hello everybody, this is Rizka from Dolomiti, Italy. Look at this beautiful scenery. And today we are really lucky with the sun, and also last night it was snowing. So we have a very spectacular view. The ski season is starting now, and people try to enjoy the beauty of the scenery in here in Dolomiti area.
Yes, it is still winter right there. And next we have one more to unravel. The Gulangyu Island in Xiamen City, Fujian Province, China, is a living museum of global architecture. Around 1,000 historical buildings adorn the island, each echoing a distinct architectural style.
Gulangyu Island, off the coast of Xiamen City in Fujian Province, China, is a living museum of global architecture. The island boasts around 1,000 historical buildings, showcasing diverse architectural styles from traditional Chinese to modern European. In addition to being a popular tourist destination in Xiamen, the 1.8 square kilometer island is also home to around 10,000 people. In 1902, 13 countries including Britain, the Netherlands, Russia, France, Japan, and the United States built consulates general buildings on Gulangyu Island. Although these buildings are no longer in use, they remain standing and impressive. As a result, in 2017, Bulayu Island was finally designated as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO.
Di sini biasanya banyak orang yang tinggal juga, masih ada kehidupan. Dan bisa lihat rumah-rumah itu semuanya ditinggali oleh penduduk Pulau ini. Pulau ini udah dinobatkan UNESCO. Pariwisata terbaik di China. Biasanya kita bisa foto-foto, bisa di gereja, 2 gereja ini, di pusat ini juga ikon dari Pulau ini.
In addition to seeing buildings with ancient architecture, visitors can also enjoy traditional Chinese puppet shows, which are also known as Wayang Potehi in Indonesia. See Today contributor reporting from Xiamen, Fujian, China.
And we hope that you enjoy the features that we had catered for you on this segment. Now we're taking a quick break. When we return, Paul Polele is set to recap or to deliver the recap from the world of sports. Don't go anywhere.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulisnya.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
The beauty and the excitement of being there, indescribable to be such an iconic, historical, and magnificent.
Let's take a look around, shall we?
Come on in.
We found them.
Where people come and go. A cup of tea, a perfect way to end your day. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
You don't have to be good with your foot. You can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya, aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik loh. Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Their existence is now being critically endangered.
Dia memiliki ekor yang sangat panjang, lebih panjang, jauh lebih panjang daripada badannya sendiri.
Tekniknya dia keluar dia itu bergelombol, menggunakan punggung temannya untuk naik.
Sebenarnya konservasi burung hantu di sini latar belakangnya jelas asas manfaat. Jadi kita pengen melestarikan burung, melestarikan satwa, tapi juga otomatis dampaknya ke masyarakat yang khususnya sekarang kalau di sini kan petani.
Welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone. It is 20 to 9 in the a.m. and time for a sports recap, beginning with some football news. Saudi Arabia dominated Group F at the AFC Asian Cup match on Sunday when they defeated nine-man Kyrgyzstan 2-0. The game was barely 8 minutes in when Aizar Akhmatov's high tackle on Saudi Arabia's Sami Al-Naji caused the referee to whip out a yellow card. However, his decision was overturned and Akhmatov was sent off the pitch after VAR proved otherwise. The Green Falcons initially struggled to capitalize on their numerical superiority, but the breakthrough came in the 35th minute when Mohamed Kano found the back of Kyrgyzstan's net. And the second half began just as the first had when Kimi Bjorn Merk landed a yellow card on the 50th minute for tackling Hassan Tambakti. However, he was sent off after the referee watched the VAR replay. Saudi Arabia should have cruised to an easy win, but they needed a goalkeeping error to extend the lead in the 84th minute. Saudi Arabia now has 6 points from 2 matches and will go on to the knockout phase as group winners if they can avoid losing to Thailand on Thursday. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Thailand has now bagged 4 points after they were held to a goalless draw by Oman earlier on Sunday. And elsewhere in the same tournament, Japan has conducted training ahead of their upcoming clash against Indonesia in Qatar. Japan conducted training on Sunday ahead of their crucial AFC Asian Cup clash against Indonesia. Additionally, Japan recently suffered their first loss to Iraq in 42 years, which hangs their hope of advancing to the round of 16 in the balance. Japan has collected 3 points in Group D and must achieve victory to get back on track. Meanwhile, Indonesia also has 3 points after defeating Vietnam 1-0 and will be needing a victory against Japan to secure a top 2 group finish. Prior to the match between Indonesia and Japan, the Indonesian Football Association, or PSSI Deputy Chairman Zainuddin Amali, has expressed his wish for the Indonesian team to play optimally. He is hopeful that the team can qualify for the round of 16 and wins, or at the very least reaches a tie against Japan.
Kami di PSSI tentu optimis. Yang penting anak-anak main seperti semalam, dia fokus, dia sabar, dan kerjasama timnya bagus. Karena sebelumnya kan pertandingan sebelumnya Irak lawan Jepang, Jepang kalah, ya kan? Jadi mudah-mudahan kita bisa juga mengimbangi ya. Dan tentu harapan kita sebagaimana target pelatih Sintayong untuk lolos ke dalam kelas besar, kita fokus ke situ.
And we'll preview that match for you closer to game day. In the meantime, though, let's move on to some racing news as Marc Marquez opted to join his brother Alex at Gresini Racing as the Ducati satellite team unveiled the Spanish siblings at an event in Riccione, Italy on Saturday. Marc Marquez has warned fans that he does not expect to challenge defending champion Francesco Bagnaia and 2023 runner-up Jorge Martin in the upcoming MotoGP season after enduring years of nightmare. The 6-time former Premier Class champion has struggled with injuries and an underperforming bike in recent seasons, which cut short his contract with Repsol Honda. Meanwhile, preseason MotoGP testing will resume at Sepang in Malaysia starting on February the 6th before Lusail hosts the season-opening Qatar Grand Prix on March the 10th.
I cannot pretend to fight for the victory from the beginning because last 4 years were a nightmare for me. In last 2 years I was not able to win a race, and especially because I arrived to a bike that especially two riders, that is Bagnaia and Martin, spent many years with this bike and win many races and championships. So they are super fast, and they will have the 2024 bike, the same bike. We can say they have the same bike, but you arrive there and you cannot pretend to be on the same level, or will be not the normal thing to be on the same level straight away with them.
On to some tennis news now, as Novak Djokovic has advanced to the 2024 Australian Open quarterfinals after thrashing Adrian Mannarino on Sunday by a score of 6-love, 6-love, and 6-3. Novak Djokovic was ruthless in his victory over Adrian Mannarino to reach the Australian Open quarterfinals and match yet another of Roger Federer's Grand Slam records. In a rare daytime appearance on Rod Laver Arena, the 10-time Australian Open champion hit 31 winners and raced to victory in just 1 hour and 44 minutes to progress to the last 8 at a major for the 58th time in his career. The 35-year-old Mannarino had gone to 5 sets in all 3 of his previous rounds, and after missing a break point in the opening game, he almost never threatened Djokovic. Djokovic will be playing the 12th-ranked Taylor Fritz, as Fritz had defeated last year's finalists Stefanos Tsitsipas. And finally, let's move on to the NBA for some basketball news, as the Oklahoma City Thunder managed to take down the Western Conference's #1 team, Minnesota Timberwolves, 102-97 at Target Center.
Aren't ready to play.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 11 of his 33 points in the fourth quarter as the Oklahoma City Thunder bounced back to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 102-97 in the matchup of the #1 and #2 Western Conference teams. Jalen Williams added 20 points for Oklahoma City, while Minnesota native Chet Holmgren scored 15. The Thunder initially trailed by 11 points early in the fourth quarter before rallying back to win for the second time in 4 games to pull within 1 game of the conference leaders. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards, who netted 19 points, was fouled on a 3-point shot with 3.4 seconds remaining, but missed his 2 first crucial free throws before intentionally missing the third to try to get Minnesota the rebound. Meanwhile, Karl Anthony Towns had himself a double-double with 19 points and 11 rebounds.
And the Thunder called timeout.
And that wraps up our sports news. We have one more segment coming up after this last short break, which is full of your entertainment updates. Stay tuned for that. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, I love this atmosphere. Woo! Heading to Gili Trawangan. And this special episode, I already prepared myself for an adventure on the island, which in the top of the list to visit. And this is the travel note because life is dope.
Ke Binjai mau migrasi.
Cakep.
Anjay, aku depot sih.
Ya aku cuma mau bilang hari ini kamu tuh cantik ya.
Aduh ya Allah.
Oke lah kalau penampilan dia nggak sebaik itu, nggak sebagus itu, nggak seganteng itu, tapi itu hatinya dia sebaik itu dan tidak ada orang yang pernah gue temuin hatinya sebaik Mas.
Pemain.
Berangkat aja dulu, kerjakan apa yang ada di depan kalian. Setidaknya kalian hari ini walaupun tidak mendapatkan uang, tapi kalian mendapatkan kesempatan.
Walaupun di awal-awal itu banyak sekali rintangan dan tantangan.
Kalian berproses aja dulu, jalan aja dulu. Kalau udah waktunya kalian untuk dapetin uang akan datang nyamperin kalian. Hal yang paling sangat utama untuk mengawali bisnis, ridho dan restu orang tua. Itu hal dan modal paling besar dalam mengawali usaha.
Group of volunteers operating in south of the city has united to assist displaced children in a refugee camp in Rafah in overcoming the trauma of war. The volunteers come from diverse professional backgrounds and share expertise in working with young people.
Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen, where we bring you guys some of the sports that you guys can go play here in Indonesia.
Handball karena masih baru, tadi kita harus bisa juga mempopulerkan ini kepada masyarakat sampai ke bawah.
We do it from scratch at the time because we don't know ice hockey, how to play, how to develop, how to manage this sport.
You don't have to be good with your foot. Like you can just dribble the ball and just throw it to the full ball.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right, guys, let's get into our first update for today.
Meanwhile, a plume of smoke was seen billowing in the distance from Rafah in the Gaza Strip on Saturday, marking the 11th week of humanitarian crisis in Palestine.
Mount Anak Krakatau continues to erupt, spewing volcanic materials up to 300 meters high.
Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that Indonesia has minimized taking debt to meet the needs of the 2023 state budget until the end of the year.
Hey there, buddies! Welcome back to another episode of Buddy Talk.
Enggak, dia hostnya, kita co-hostnya.
It's better to be overdressed than underdressed. That's actually a good hack, because I used to live in Canada. That was our trick. Point to Manado on the smash. I'm horrible. I told you I'm bad.
Dikira dengan banyaknya informasi itu kan jadi makin gampang gitu nulis.
Iya.
Tapi ternyata susah banget.
Welcome back to the C Morning Show. We're going to finish things off with some entertainment updates. Alec Baldwin is staring down a felony involuntary manslaughter charge yet again. This took place after a grand jury indicted the actor in connection with the fatal 2021 shooting on the set of a Western movie in New Mexico.
Yes, the lead actor and a co-producer on Rust pointed a gun at cinematographer Helena Hutchins during rehearsal outside Santa Fe when the gun went off, killing her and wounding director Joel Souza.
A new analysis has popped up of the gun, helped prosecutors to reboot the case after dismissing the involuntarily manslaughter charge last year. Baldwin's defense attorney indicate that they will dispute the charge, which may land the actor up to 18 months behind bars. Baldwin can now enter a formal plea with or without a court arrangement to set in the motion trial preparation.
The indictment provides prosecutors with two alternative standards for the felony involuntary manslaughter charge against Baldwin, one of which would be based on the negligent use of a firearm.
Meanwhile, Baldwin claimed that the weapon fired, although he only pulled back the gun's hammer and not the trigger. However, a recent analysis of the gun from the Lucient and Michael Hawk Forensic Science Services in Arizona concluded that the trigger had to be pulled sufficiently to release the fully cocked hammer.
Prosecutors also have the option to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Baldwin caused Hutchins' death without due caution or circumspection that is defined as an act committed with total disregard or indifference for the safety of others. I am just beyond disbelief right now, again, of what happened with Hutchins and those that's been, the victims because of this situation. But again, this is a movie set.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this brings me back to do you remember Bruce Lee's son?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that was also another weird incident. So these things do happen. They do have firearms on sets all the time. But obviously, it was a rehearsal as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it was a manslaughter charge. But again, it's really weird because you don't expect these things to have live bullets at any point in time.
That's right. Right. So it must be, well, we'll never know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the conspiracy will always be there, but then let the court, show the proof right there.
There you go.
Now, next, Netflix now officially announced the second season of reality series Rhythm and Flow on January 19th, after it was initially scheduled to air in 2021.
3 renowned have been appointed as the judges this season. They are Ludacris, DJ Khaled, and Lato.
First impression is everything. I mean, it all comes down to this one moment.
After a successful first season with great judges like T.I., Cardi B, and Chance the Rapper, this year the popular music competition series airing on Netflix is coming with 3 new judges. They are Ludacris, DJ Khaled, and Lato. The video announcement of the coming season 2 gained positive response from the public. Furthermore, the competition, which offers $250,000 main prize, sets the bar high, as the previous season's winner, D-Smoke, has been a Grammy and NAACP Image Award nominated artist for his album Black Habits. Netflix's Vice President of Non-Fiction Series, Brandon Reed, said that they took things up a notch with a new cast of global hitmakers in their judges and a new pool of undiscovered artists. He added that it would be great to see Ludacris, DJ Khaled, and Lato mentoring the contestants, plus having legendary guest judges such as Eminem at a time when hip-hop continues to evolve. Currently, Rhythm and Flow Season 2 is still in production and is slated to air at the end of the year.
Rhythm and flow, baby, let's go.
So Carol and P just discussed why we don't have Eminem.
Well, I saw his picture, and I'm like, why is Eminem's picture there? But yeah, perfect guest judge, because he's great at freestyling.
Best. Guest judges, he will be guest judges. Let's head to K-pop world, where G-Idol returns with a unique new music video.
K-pop girl band G-Idol unleashes a fiery music video for the new song Wife, which is a part of the upcoming album titled 2 on January 22nd, which is today. In this new song, the girls serenade with an unconventional tune and dance as they present a manifesto about cooking and cleaning without a desire to be a wife.
Yeah, you don't have to be a wife to cook and to clean. They also released an audio snippet of their new album a few days ago. The album consists of 8 songs with the title track Super Lady and B-side Wife, which releases today.
Now, the song titled Wife is a tantalizing glimpse into their new album, which is scheduled to drop on January 29th. The Queen Card group, which debuted in 2018, always appears with different concepts and colors in each of their comebacks. Love their, what's this, like blue, turquoise, kind of like, yes.
Yeah, in my
teal hair.
In my household, it is actually the husband that does the cleaning, but definitely not the cooking. You don't want
balance. Your wife do the cooking, right? And you do the cleaning.
Yeah, you guys don't want to taste my food. Anyway, let's move on to our next entertainment news. Justin Timberlake has dropped his first new music in 6 years with his upcoming single, Selfish.
The wait is over. Justin Timberlake confirmed that his new album is on the way after dropping Everything I Thought It Was album trailer.
What do we have here?
It has been 6 years from his latest album, Man in the Woods, released in 2018. The trailer has a little Wes Anderson steroid city vibes with a model car driving towards a desert gas station. At the end, yellow words against a black screen appear that reads, Justin Timberlake presents Everything I Thought It Was. The announcement came during Timberlake's concert at the Orpheum in Memphis. The pop star unveiled the new song to fans, which he also shared on YouTube. He performed Selfish, which he said is from the new album. The new album will be the 6th solo offering the Memphis-born singer's career and his first in 6 years.
Wow, there you go, guys. Looking good, sounding good as well.
Right.
JT, you're a
Remember Crimea River breakup? selfish, after memoir.
Ooh, could it be? Could it be a follow-up?
This conspiracy ideas today. I don't know why.
I love musicians because they can monetize over their love experience.
Yeah.
Yes, any kind of experience of life.
Breakup, love.
They can take a bad experience and turn it into a good one.
Love it.
And on that note, we gotta go, guys. It's been a great experience for us with you here on this morning's episode of the CE Morning Show on a beautiful Monday morning. Always a great pleasure to bring you the news. But while we're not connected on the air, we can stay connected via our social media platforms. Make sure you find us on either Instagram, X, or YouTube at CE Today News.
That's right. Now, CE Today can also be enjoyed in Australia on Foxtel's Flash app or in Macau Cable TV Channel 84. If you're in the Philippines, you can also watch the Converge Vision Channel 58 and in Singtel Singapore Channel 15 and StarHub Channel 720.
For Telkomsel users, Telkomsel users, you can also watch CE Today on Maxstream and My Telkomsel app. Don't forget to also tune in again tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be sure to also catch our afternoon show every day at 5 p.m. I'm Aling Ratmaja.
I'm Paul Pilelli.
And I'm Caroline Surahmat, and we would like to say,
see Indonesia, see the world, see today. Happy Monday.
Have a great one.
Hi, I'm Chef Rehan. This is my private corner and welcome to Satisfactory. Cook healthy, cook happy. And today, I'm gonna make creamy lemon garlic chicken. The ingredients in here, it's spinach, pepper, parsley, garlic, oregano, yogurt, salt, and coconut oil. First we're gonna do is, we prepare the chicken breast first. We just soak the chicken so it's not too wet. As you can see, the chicken breast is really thick, so we cut in half. We just use the chicken breast, and then the chicken breast we seasoning with some salt, pepper, oh, I forgot the main ingredient things. Lemon. Okay, let's continue. And oregano. When it's all done, we preheat the cast iron and some coconut oil.